Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with Fundamentals of Management, Unit number 1, Introduction to Management. Students, management is everywhere in today's world and there is no alternative of management. It makes human efforts more fruitful and offers better products and services to society. Without management, the resources of production, popularly known as 4Ms, that is, men, machines, materials, money, cannot be transformed. Thus, management is important function for all aspects of business. Management is a must to achieve desired goals through collective efforts of all the people associated with the firm. Popularly, it is said that management is the function of getting things done through people and guiding the efforts of individuals for a common goal. Now let's discuss about meaning of management. Students, management includes planning, organizing, staffing, leading or directing, controlling, and organization to accomplish the goal or target. Management is the organization and coordination of activities of a business in order to achieve defined objectives. Management is often included as a factor of production along with machines, materials, and money. According to management guru Peter Drucker, the basic task of management includes both marketing and innovation. Now, let's discuss definitions of management given by well-known management thinkers. First, according to George Terry, management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, controlling, performed to determine and accomplish stated objectives by the use of human beings and other resources. So, students, according to George Terry, it is a process. Process means continuous going on. With the help of planning, thinking in advance what to do, how to do, where to do, when to do. Organizing refers to organizing all factors of production, controlling them. Whenever we are not getting the result as per decided, we have to put control. Perform to determine and accomplish stated objectives, that is, what is decided in advance, what are the standards by the use of human beings, that is, different people, employees, and other resources. Now let's discuss the second definition. According to Henry Fayol, to manage is to forecast, that is, to predict, to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and control. And third is, according to Peter Drucker, management is multi-purpose organ that manages business and manages managers and manages workers and work. So according to Peter Drucker, management is to manage. Manage what? Manage business, manage managers and employees as well as work. In short, management's elementary function for the achievement of an organization's goals. The directors and managers who have the power and responsibility to make decisions and oversee an enterprise are responsible for the proper functioning of an enterprise. Now let's discuss about characteristics of management. Students, there are different characteristics as you can see. The first one is management is goal-oriented process. Management always aims at achieving the organizational objectives. The functions and activities of managers lead to the achievement of organizational goals or objectives. For example, if the objective of a company is to increase sales, then manager will plan all the activities, motivate all the employees and organize all the resources keeping in mind the main target, that is increase the sales. Managers focus their attention and efforts on bringing about successful action. Successful managers have an urge for accomplishment. They know when and where to start, what to do with keeping this moving, and how to follow a goal-oriented approach. Now let's discuss the second characteristic, that is, management is pervasive. Management is a universal phenomenon. The use of management is not restricted to business firms only. It is applicable in profit making, non profit making, business, non business, like schools, hospitals, has to be managed properly. Concept of management is used in the whole world, whether it is Sri Lanka or India. Now let's discuss the next characteristic. Management is multidimensional. Management does not mean one single activity, but it includes three main activities: management of operations, management of work, and management of people. Next characteristic is management is a group activity. Management always refers to a group of people involved in managerial activities. The management functions cannot be performed in isolation. Each and every individual, each and every employee of the organization performs his or her role as per his or her status, his or her department, and then only management function can be executed. Next characteristic is management is a continuous process. Management is a continuous process, or we can say that it is never-ending process, never-ending function. All the functions of management are performed continuously. As we discussed earlier, management is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, are performed by all the managers all the time. Sometimes they are doing planning, then directing, then staffing. Managers perform ongoing series of functions continuously in the organization. Next characteristic is management is intangible. Management cannot be seen, but we can feel it through the result in the form of increase in production, increase in sales, increased in productivity, right? It is like invisible spirit which gives us guidance, which motivates our employees so that our organizational goals can be achieved. Now, students, we are going to discuss about contribution of different management thinkers in the area of management. First, we are going to discuss about Frederick Winslow Taylor's contribution, or we can say contribution of F.W. Taylor to management thought. Students, F.W. Taylor is one of the founders of new theory of management. He is popularly known as father of scientific management. He suggested the principles of scientific management. His concept of scientific management developed into movement and dominated the industrial management for several decades after him. His concepts and principles were refined and popularized by his followers. Now let's discuss what is the contribution of F.W. Taylor. According to Taylor, scientific management is its essence, consists of a philosophy which results in a combination of four important underlying principles of management. First, the development of a true science. Second, the scientific selection of the workers. Third, their scientific education, that is, education, training, development of employees. And fourth one, good cordial relationship, cooperation between management and employees. The basic principles of Taylor philosophy of scientific management are thus known as the one best way for doing the job by employees. This suggests that the task of finding out the best method for achieving the objectives of a given job. The standards are decided scientifically for jobs and incentive wages are paid for all the production. Scientific selection of workers and their development through proper training. Scientific approach by management. The management has to develop a true science in all the fields of working activity. The close cooperation of managers and workers for better results and understanding. And most important thing, elimination of conflict between methods and men. The workers are likely to resist whenever new methods are introduced. This can be avoided by providing them an opportunity by giving them more amount of wages. Now let's discuss about contribution of Henry Fayol to management thought. Students, Henry Fayol is popularly known as father of administrative management. He has given the modern theory of general and industrial management. The credit of proposing the basic principles of management in methodical way goes to Henry Fayol. After obtaining an engineering degree, Henry Fayol joined as chief executive in a coal mining company. His management principles and general management theory were published in a form of book in French language in 1960 with the title General and Industrial Administration. It was translated in English in 1930. In due course of time, Henry Fayol came to be recognized as founder of modern theory. He developed 14 principles of management, which we are going to discuss now. The first one is division of work. In organization, employees are specialized in different areas and they are having different types of skill. Different levels of skills can be distinguished with the knowledge areas. According to Henry Fayol, specialization helps to increase the productivity, efficiency of employees. The second is authority and responsibility. In order to get things done, management has the authority to give orders to the employees. According to Henry Fayol, the accompanying power or authority gives the management the right to give orders to subordinates. The third one is principle. It is often a part of the core values of mission statement and vision in form of good governance, good conduct, and respectful interaction. This management principle is essential and is seen as the fuel to make the engine of an organization running smoothly. The fourth one is unity of command. The management principle of unity of command means that an individual employee should receive orders from one manager and that the employee is answerable to that manager only. The fifth one is unity of direction. Students, this fifth principle is all about focus and unity. All employees deliver the same activity that can be linked to the same objective. All activities must be carried out by one group that forms a team. These activities must be described in plan of action. The manager is finally responsible for this planning. He has to check the progress of whatever decide, that is planned activities. The sixth one is subordination of individual interest. Students, as you know, there are various kinds of interests of people, or we can say stakeholders are associated with the firm. In order to have an organization functions smoothly, Henry Fayol indicated that personal interests are subordinate to the interest of the organization. That means the main focus is on the organizational objectives and not for individual. The seventh one is remuneration. According to FAO, the remuneration should be enough to keep employees motivated. There are two types of remuneration: non monetary, monetary. Monetary means whatever salaries, wages, bonus we are giving. Non monetary, like compliment, responsibility, credit. Ultimately, it is all about providing good reward so that your employees are motivated. The eighth one is the degree of centralization. Management and authority for decision making process must be properly balanced in the firm. This depends on the size of the firm as well as the levels in the organization. Students, these levels we are going to discuss later on. Next one is scalar chain. Hierarchy present itself in any given organization varies from senior management to the lower level. Henry Fayol's hierarchy management principle states that there should be a clear line in area of authority from top to bottom and all managers at all levels. The 10th one is order. According to Fayol, employees in an organization must have the right resources at their disposal so that they can function properly in the firm. In addition to social order, that is responsibility of the manager, the working environment must be good, safe, clean. The 11th principle is student equity. The management principle of equity often occurs in the core values of the firm. According to Henry Fayol, employees must be treated kindly and equally. Employees must be given right place in the organization. Managers should supervise, should monitor this process, and they should treat employees impartially in good way. The 12th principle is stability of tenure of person. Students, this principle out of 14 principles of management represents deployment and managing of employees, and this should be in balance with the service that is provided from the firm. Management strives to minimize employees turnover. Student, do remember, employees turnover refers to number of persons joining the firm and leaving the firm. If your employees turnover ratio is higher, that means more number of people are leaving the firm. Lower or minimizing employee turnover, that means less number of people are leaving the job. The 13th is initiative. According to Henry Fayol, the management principle of employees should be allowed to express new ideas, new initiatives. This encourages interest and involvements of the employees for the firm. And last but not the least, esprit de corps. Student, the management principles of esprit de corps out of the 14 principles means striving for the involvement and unity of employees. Managers are responsible for the development of morale at workplace. Esprit de corps contributes to the development of good organizational culture and good working environment, understanding in the firm. Now we are going to discuss about contribution of Elton Mayo in development of management thought. Students, Elton Mayo is recommended as the father of human relations school. He introduced human relations approach to management thought. His contribution to the development of management thought is unique and is also treated as human relations approach to management. Elton Mayo conducted different studies at Western Electricity Company's Hawthorne plant to evaluate the attributes and psychological reactions of employees at workplace. It was a research program of National Research Council of National Academy of Science at the Hawthorne plant of Western Electricity Company. In the early 20th century, he concluded that there was a clear-cut cause and effect relationship between the physical work, working environment, and productivity of employee. There was a relationship between production and given condition of ventilation, temperature, lighting, and other physical working condition, and most important, wage incentives. It had been believed that improper work design, fatigue, and other conditions of work mainly decreases the efficiency of employee. So, to establish the relationship between men and the structure of formal organization, Hawthorne study conducted. The studies were conducted during 1924 to 27, known as Illumination Experiment. In the year 1927, Relay Assembly Test Room Experiment. From 1928 to 31, Mass Interviewing Program. And 1931 to 32, Bank Wiring Experiment. Students, Hawthorne studies are primarily responsible for consideration of non-financial incentives for improving productivity. Mayo pointed out that organization is a reality. The knowledge of human behavior can solve many problems of management. Now let's discuss about functions and process of management. Students, Luther Gulick has given the functions and process of management with a keyword post-COP, where P stands for planning, O stands for organizing, S stands for staffing, D stands for directing, C stands for coordination as well as controlling, R stands for reporting, and B stands for budgeting. Now let's talk about planning. Planning is essential for any firm because it establishes the relationship between what we are and where we can. It is related with what we are and what we can, what to do, how to do, where to do, and when to do. Planning is the very first and most important function in the process of management because every activity starts with planning. The second is organizing. Organizing involves classifying, defining all the sub processes, or we can say subdivision of work. It makes sure that the activities and timelines in the first step of planning are refined and organized. The third one is staffing. Staffing refers to hiring the employees, recruitment, selection of right person at the right place, where with good working environment, people are going to achieve organizational goal as well as individual and departmental goals. The fourth one is student directing. This entails decision making, delegating structured instruction and to follow them. Directing is an important step in post-COP. The fifth one is controlling. Controlling helps the management to achieve the goals. Whenever we are checking the actual result with the planned one, we can find out the change, the difference. Whenever goals are not achieved, that means we have to put control. Whenever we are having deviation, that means we have to take corrective action. That comes under controlling. The sixth one is student reporting. Reporting means regularly updating the superiors about how much amount of work is done. We can say that it is progress report about the activities. And last is budgeting. Budgeting means we are predicting future. We are predicting future about production, our sales, our purchase, our cash, etc. Now we are going to discuss about levels of management. The process of dividing authority and responsibility among various executive is known as levels of management, creation of levels of management. In other words, it is concerned with the classification of superior subordinate relationship in the firm. There is no fixed number of management levels prescribed for a particular organization. It depends on how we are working, what is the size of the firm, nature of the organization. But popularly, students, as you can see, we can group, we can classify it in three parts: top, middle, and lower level management. People who are deciding our policy, that is top level management. Chief Executive Officer, Managing Director, Director, Chief Marketing Officer, all these are part of top level management. Then middle line, Marketing Manager, Production Manager, all these comes under middle level. And last one, the lower level, consisting of supervisors, foreman, clerk, junior clerk, etc. Now, students, we are going to discuss about different managerial skills or management skills required at these different levels. Students, skill is an acquired and learned ability to translate knowledge into performance, the reality. It is the competency of a person that helps to perform. All managers need to possess various kinds of skills, as you can see in this slide. There are three types of skills required: technical skill, human skill, and third one is conceptual skill. Now let's discuss about technical skill. Technical skills are necessary to understand the specific kind of work. The persons who are working with machines, technology, need these type of skill, like engineers, computer programmers. For them, it is essential to learn technical skill. Student, you can see that more amount of technical skill is required at lower level. Compared to this, at middle level, it is little bit less, and minimum at top. The second type of skill is human skill. What is human skill? Human skill is the ability to work with others, with cooperation. Human skills are essential for good teamwork. It involves understanding, trust, involvement. Students, you can see that human skill is required equally at each and every level, whether it is top level, middle level, or lower level. The reason behind it is we have to interact with people, and that is why it is the same at every level. And third is conceptual skills. Conceptual skills are essential to the managers to understand the overall working of the organization and harmonize the working of subsystem so that organization goals can be achieved. As you can see in the diagram, more conceptual skill is required at top, then compared to it lower, and minimum amount of conceptual skill is required at the lower level. Why? Because to understand the overall working of the organization, to harmonize it, that is conceptual skill. That is why at top level more amount of conceptual skills are required. Now let's discuss about role of managers. Which kind of role played by managers at workplace? Students, as you can see, there are basically three types of roles played by managers at workplace. First is interpersonal role, second is informational role, and third is decisional role. Now let's discuss one by one. First, we are going to discuss about interpersonal role. Interpersonal role is played by three specific roles, that is figurehead, leader, and liaison. Now let's discuss with the example. What is the role of figurehead? The figurehead conveys the effective management of diversity, conveying the goals and objectives of the firm. Then what is the role of a leader? The leader serves as a role model so that people are following it properly. And third is liaisoning. Liaisoning means link between two parties. Now let's discuss about the second role, that is informational role. Again played by three specific roles: monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson. Monitor. What is the role of a monitor? Whenever the manager evaluates the extent to which different employees are working properly or not, that is monitoring the work. Disseminator, informing employees about different policies, initiatives of the firm. The spokesperson. The spokesperson is supporting diversity initiatives to all the employees, speaks to larger group of employees, and communicating the policies of the firm. And third type of role is decisional, by four different kinds of specific role: entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. Now let's discuss how it is performed. How entrepreneur role is performed? Commit resources to develop new ways to effectively manage diversity and eliminate the biases, that is the role of entrepreneur. Student entrepreneur means the person who start the firm, right? Basically. So commit resources to develop new ways to effectively managing diversity and eliminating biases, that is the role of the entrepreneur. Starting the new thing. Second is disseminator, taking quick, correct decisions. Disturbance handler, so that anything going negative in the firm is disseminated. The third one is resource allocator, allocating resources, encouraging your employees so that your objectives can be achieved. Proper allocation of resources. And fourth one is negotiator. Negotiator, whenever two parties are having conflict. One is thinking we are right, another is thinking they are also right. So negotiator is the person who is trying to negotiate, to resolve any conflict, any problem in the firm. With this, students, I am ending this session. Thank you very much.